to Heal the World show, brought to you by the Healing Institute. I'm Parmelia Parham, and I am the founder and CEO of the Healing Institute. The Healing Institute is a online worldwide hub of holistic practitioners, and we are here to help heal the world. We want to give people hope that there are wonderful, fabulous ways to be well and stay well from a holistic point of view. Now, I've used holistic ways of staying well for well over 20 years, and it works. And that's why I called the Healing Institute an institute, because I really want to educate people about the different ways that they can be well and stay well on their health journey, because let's face it, we are all on a health journey. Now, why is this so important to me? Well, we did have a tragedy in our family quite a few years ago where my mother passed away at a very young age. She was 61, and it was due to complications of a medication that she had been on for a very long time. And not once did her doctor ever mention to her that there were side effects to this medication if you were on it for a long time. So unfortunately, it affected her kidneys, and she died of kidney failure. Now, it was tragic that she died at such a young age, but the tragedy it continued because I was 5 months pregnant with my son. She died right on the 15th of December, which was right before Christmas. And also, she didn't get to meet my children, and my children didn't get to meet their grandmother. And I don't want that to happen for anybody else. I really want to be able to let people know of all the different ways to be well and all the amazing holistic practitioners that we have on the Healing Institute website that are available for you to have a chat with and find out what is the best modality for you. So every week on Heal the World show, I have a guest co-host, and we just talk about healing in some way. Now, this month, there was a lot of healing days. World Health Day, I believe, was April the 7th. World Breathing Day was April the 11th. And so we decided that the theme for the Heal the World show would be World Health Month. And so each one of our guest co-hosts this month has talked about healing in some way. And I am so excited to have Gurpreet Junja with me today because we're going to talk about healing and health in leadership. Now, I need to read to you what Gurpreet is, because what she does and the company that she's formed is just amazing. So she is the visionary CEO and founder of Cosmos Being LLC, where cutting edge neuroscience meets transformative leadership, change management, and stress reduction. Oh my goodness, I just think this is so important. I love cutting edge neuroscience, for one thing. Anything that's scientific just makes total sense to me. So welcome, Gurpreet. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pamela. It's an honor to be here at this show today. So thank you for having me. It's amazing. It's incredible work that you're doing. And I'm so grateful to be part of this. At Cosmo Being, we offer neuroscience-based tools and techniques and strategies on how to bring a desired change that you are wanting in your life, and you've been wanting it, and how to sustain that change. Because most of the time, we know what we want to change. We also know why we want to change, but what we struggle with most is how do we change?
Having the tools, yes, definitely.
And and so making it seamlessly simple for for human brain to comprehend and work through it is what we offer. Now, simple doesn't necessarily mean easy, right?
No,
Simple
no.
simple can be also, kind of daunting and
Mhm.
getting out of your comfort zone, but the tools are straightforward to understand and to work through. That's what we offer. And we provide different kinds of strategies and packages and whatnot for organizations. We have worked with different kinds of organizations, with school districts and with homeless population, and yeah, so you name it, we're touching a lot of different industries right now.
Well, I just love the fact that we're looking at health around leadership, because I don't think a lot of companies necessarily put the two together. And also, as you mentioned in your introduction, it sounds to me like you also work with individuals as well as with companies and organizations, like the homeless. You said there was that organization. So I want you to, for our audience, just to explain a little bit about the neuroscience. Can you give us a little bit of information about that, just for people who are not quite clear about what that might be? But just before you do that, Marie Piplovic, our good friend, has popped on. Marie actually introduced Gurpreet and I, so she says hello to my friends. So
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so neuroscience, essentially what we offer is based on how your brain works. Now, our brains are wired a certain way, and what we see or what we work through is with our conscious minds, which is only 5% of our actual brain.
I know,
What
isn't that amazing? We're not taught that, right? We're taught that it's all this brain is doing all the work. So
Yeah,
not true.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you
So
for bringing that up. Mhm.
absolutely. And what lies underneath is a 95% of the subconscious brain that's actually running the program. That's the reason we react to a certain situation, the reason we respond in a certain way, the reason how we feel a certain way with certain kind of a situation is all because our 95% of that subconscious brain has been formed, and it has learned over the years of how to perceive things and what's danger, what's not danger, what's good, what's bad, and it makes its own judgment. So in our conscious brain, we really don't make those decisions. We actually pull them. They just get pulled up from subconscious brain. It's like an iceberg.
Mm.
We think that we are only using our 5% of the brain, but actually there's a 95% of the subconscious brain that's running our program. And thus, what it means is that we are basically a bunch of programs. We are a bunch of habits and patterns and behaviors and mindsets, and accumulated all of that, and that makes us who we are today. So neuroscience means, how do we unwheel that? How do we unravel it, and like an onion peel, unlayer, layer by layer, understand why we do this and how can we change it? Because change is not just about, okay, I'm going to start doing this from now on and that's it. There are days, for example, if somebody's trying to lose a weight, there are going to be days when they feel like, well, you know what? Oh my God, this is so frustrating. Oh my God, I don't like this. Oh my God, I want to eat more or whatnot. These thoughts come up. Why? Because there is a pattern that's feeding them. And sooner or later, even if they do lose weight, few months later, they end up gaining it again, because those habits and patterns and behaviors have not changed. And that's what neuroscience mean. And then we combine that with the science of the heart, because there is, as much as we have a brain in our minds, we have a heart brain. And what we teach in our work is how to work with your mind brain and with your heart brain together in sync, to bring that coherence in your mind and in your body to make a decision, or to make whatever life you want to create, basically.
I love this. You have used both the analogies that I use all the time when I'm talking about the conscious brain and the subconscious, because of course, with my modality of body code, emotion code, I'm working with subconscious all the time, connecting with my client's subconscious. So use the analogy of an iceberg. I also use the analogy of an onion and how we have to peel that off. So that was that was just perfect. Thank you for that explanation. I think that is a really good explanation for people who may not actually really just have maybe not have heard the word neuroscience, or maybe haven't quite understood what it entails, because it is involved. And these are not things that we're taught. we're really, we grow up thinking that our conscious brain is really what it does, but it does everything, but it doesn't do everything. And I love that you talked about the heart brain. That was something I learned about 5 years ago, which I was 5 or 6 years ago, which I was absolutely, really, there's a heart brain. And then, of course, we know now about the Heart Math Institute in California, and how the scientists there are studying how the heart and our cognitive brain and our heart brain, how they need to be in conjunction and how they need to work together. So can you give us, Marie's got a question. Let's see. Gurpreet, do you think the subconscious brain is getting upgraded unconsciously? So as we become more conscious, we actually can choose what and how we upgrade. If we don't become conscious, we might get upgraded in a way that doesn't serve us. That's a great question, Marie.
Yeah, that's an amazing question, Marie. Thank you so much for that question. Yes. So the subconscious, as we become more conscious, we have to understand that all the subconscious programming happened at some point. It was a clean slate at some point. And how this programming happened is when we started responding in life in a certain situation over and over again in the same way to certain things in our lives. Something triggered us, something made angry, something felt like it was danger. And so the subconscious kept note of all of that and just kept it there. It's not trying to harm us. Actually, it's actually trying to help us. So
Yes.
it's trying to protect us. But what it does in protection is that it protects us to an extent where we become so comfortable with what we have experienced in our life that we don't want to go out of that comfort zone. We don't want to experience something different. We don't want to, and then we don't know how to create newer things in our life. And thus our life revolves around the same concepts all the time. Have you ever felt like, why do I run into this situation every time? Do you feel that? If you do, then it's actually your subconscious program that's running you. So to answer your question, Marie, yes, when we become conscious, we choose the parts of our subconscious that we are going to upgrade. And by upgrade, what I mean is you don't necessarily go in. It's very hard to remove the neural connections. There's a Hebbian law, and it says nerve cells that fire together wire together. So the more you behave in a certain way, the more they're going to fire, the more they're going to become, connected. And this connection is going to get stronger and stronger. So it becomes from hardware, it becomes a software program. And thus, the way to combat that, the way to work through those pathways that you don't want to exist anymore, you don't go and unravel them. You basically create newer habits.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
you create and you practice them over and over and over again until that becomes a new habit. And now you have upgraded your subconscious. If something agitates you, if my kid walks to me and I get agitated when they walk up to me, when I'm on a phone and they start talking, then you know what? I get agitated. That's one habit. Now, as much as they're wrong, that's not the way I want to respond. So what do I do? Okay, so I'm going to start breathing in, working with the strategies. I'm going to start thinking, okay, I'm not going to respond this way, and I'm going to use the strategies right at that moment so I can think clearly of how I'm going to respond. And then I choose to respond a certain way. And if I keep doing that over and over and over again, that choice point is very important. And that's what we teach, how to get to that choice point. And when you get to that choice point, that's when you can then create a new habit, and you keep doing it and a new habit is formed. And that's how you upgrade your subconscious.
And then that's how you overcome those habits or things that you have incorporated into your life that you don't want anymore. You want new things in your life. So Marie said a replacement. So in fact, that's what we're doing. We're replacing that old pathways, neural pathways, with new habits and new conditioning. But we have to be somewhat conscious of the fact that we're doing that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you do get unconscious. You can get lost in the process of creating that replacement. And that's why, there are. I am a heart math certified trainer as well,
Yes,
Cornelia.
I love
So,
heart math.
yeah, yeah, it's incredible, and there's just some amazing strategies to work through that.
Hmm. Beautiful. Now, can you give us sometimes our audience likes to know clients that you have worked with, the results that they've received from working with you.
Yeah, it's been quite an incredible journey. I've worked with groups. I've also worked with individual people, and I know one of the client I've been working with, they have had such a transformative experience. Their relationships with their loved ones have changed phenomenally, and that's why I call it leading from the inside out, because
Mhm.
you're not just a leader at work when you're managing people. That's management. Leadership, however, rolls with you wherever you go, and whatever you do in every relationship, in a relationship with yourself even,
Yes.
and you lead. How you lead yourself is exactly how you're going to lead others. And leadership is more of a concept where you are helping people, helping them grow, helping them see their own strength. You are like a gardener. You
Mhm.
play a role of a gardener, and you know which plants need what type of care and how you're going to get them that care. And then it's about being consistent with that care. Now, how do you do that? How do you garden your own, seed? That will determine how you garden as a leader to others outside of you, which could be your relationships, which could be your children, which could be your friend circle, which could be people at work.
And so I think part of that gardening for ourselves is putting those things in place that are our self-care.
Mhm.
um, Doing our yoga meditation, doing our breathing, because we know Marie is a conscious breathing facilitator. So making sure that we are breathing properly, or we're taking time out of our busy life to say, hey, I need a half hour just to sit in the garden in the sunshine and kind of
Absolutely.
regroup or go. I'm very fortunate to live close to the water. So to go for a beach walk,
Mhm.
just to go down to the beach, walk along the beach, turn around and come back. That is so. That's my happy place. Really, is there. So those are the kinds of things I think that would be the tools that we would give ourselves in order to lead ourselves. And you're right. It's whoever when you're. I think for so many years we thought leaders, especially in corporate, told you what to do. But now, thank you to Simon Sinek and many other people who've now talked about leadership, where we're guidance, we're guiding people, we're guiding them just like we would do in a garden, because we want them to be the best of them that they can be themselves. Yes. So we need to say hello to Anita Kedkar. She says, hey, Gurpreet, wonderful discussion. Stop, choose, respond, loving it, respond instead of react. Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
Marie's got another note here about how leading self is exactly how leading others. Yes, most definitely. Um, it's how you do look after yourself, um, will be the sort of the blueprint, if you will, about how you will be looking after others, or not just looking after them in the sense that you are doing things for them, but giving them the tools like you were talking about and guidance so that they can flourish and grow and be their best versions of themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mhm. Beautiful. Do you have another client testimonial that you could
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
offer?
So one of the clients that I am working with, or actually we wrapped up our sessions a while back. uh, he had um, he had some profound experience with his own limiting beliefs, and he saw his own reflection pretty much at people at work, and there were a
Mhm.
lot of challenges with that, because a lot you start to understand a lot when certain people respond you, or they react to you, or they say whatever they say. If that triggers you, it's a lot about you than it's about them, you
Mhm.
know.
Yes.
And we think otherwise. I know we would like to think, oh, you know what, that person said that to me, why would that person say that to me? Well, if it's triggering you, then it's time to go take a deep dive. Go inside. It's an insider job now.
Yeah.
And you need to go inside and figure out why it's triggering you. Because people in general may or may not mean to trigger you, but
Mhm.
for the most part, they won't mean to trigger you. They might just be making a comment, they might just be saying their heart out. But if it does something to you, then that's where you have lost your own power, and you have given them the power, or their words the power, to kind of, for you to lose your own balance. So how do you come back to your center, and how do you work and understand, why is that something that's taking my attention? Why is this important to me? And that's how you start going in and figuring out, and that's how you basically pick that subconscious pattern
Mhm.
and understand it. You don't necessarily have to know why it came about, where it came about, when it you adopted it or something, because it has really no relevance to you. A lot of these habits and patterns and behaviors we adopt as a child, when we see our parents respond certain way, or we feel that we are in danger, or we feel hurt by something our parents said, which they may not even mean anything close to that, but we feel hurt because of our small little feelings but big egos that we have at the time to protect ourselves. We then behave, kind of start responding to that, or adopt that as a behavior pattern over the years. But we have to understand that a lot of these habits don't serve us as we grow older, as we traverse through the life in different path, or take different pathways. We have to go back. We have to sit down with ourselves and understand, okay, what do I need to change here? How can I change this? And it doesn't matter why and when and where I adopted it. What matters is, what is it, and what do I want out of it now? So
And
that's
taking that responsibility to
yeah.
actually say, it is me. Because how many times I've talked to people who said that, as you mentioned earlier, that someone said something to them and they took offense, and that person didn't mean it. They
Mhm,
didn't mean offense.
mhm,
They took, you're taking it, they took it, the other person took it the wrong way, or took it a certain way. Let's not say the wrong way, but took it a certain way, but it wasn't the way that the person that was delivering the comment um, had thought about it. And so it's so true for us that we really do need to think from the inside out, and we really do need to be more open to, if it triggered me, if this comment or situation is triggering me, or I'm not happy in it, or something is going on. And
mhm.
so asking the questions, I always say, be curious, ask questions, find out why. And
Mhm.
I use that all the time. I'm always giving, that's my advice to people. Ask
Yeah.
questions of yourself, ask questions of your medical community, ask questions of your leadership community. Just keep asking questions until you feel like you've got some answers. So
Absolutely.
I've got another comment here from a couple more comments from Marie. Um, so she's saying, so much burnout would be prevented if management would guide instead of telling their peers what to do,
Mhm.
or their peeps, she said. So they're people. They're people. Yes, most definitely. And a lot of us have had that, what we call the corporate experience, where we weren't being told what to do, or there was whatever the company was, or I worked for the Canadian federal government for many years, so there was kind of the the federal line that you had to follow, and if it didn't make sense to me, I was always asking questions. So that
And
was
the way I look at it is so ironic that you pay people an organization pays people, hires them for their creativity, for their thought process, for them to provide solutions, come up with solutions. And yet here, we choose to tell them, okay, this is how we do things here. So forget about your creativity, just do the way we do it, and don't worry about the rest. Well, you are paying them for this, aren't you? And then what happens next? So it's pretty ironic. Well, but the good news is that things are shifting. Things are
Yes.
shifting.
Yes.
A lot of organizations are seeing that, recognizing it. Initially there were no leadership trainings at all. And
Mhm.
there was a big mix up of management versus leadership. Now I think at least there's a clarity around what is leader, who is a leader and what is leadership. And then now also people understand that management is a different aspect. And
Yes.
managing people is, we don't need to parent the people in our company. What we really need to do is help them, give them the right resources and the environment so they can flourish, and their neofrontal cortex can be in the most creative state. And for it to be in the most creative state, they cannot be coming from those survival instincts. They have to feel safe. They have to feel empowered. And when they feel empowered and when they feel safe, that's when you're actually getting the most bang for the buck.
Thank you so much for explaining it that way, because I do believe for many years, people in management thought they were leading. And maybe they were. There could have been some really good leaders in management, but
Mhm.
it wasn't always looked at as assisting. It was their staff to be their best version of themselves. It was more just telling them how they had to do what they had to do. So Anita's got another great comment here. I also believe that you can only control and own your own part in any relation. We can't really control for the behavior of other people. So great advice to work on it and ask questions around what's triggering the feeling and what can I do to change that. Yes, perfect. Absolutely. Well, this has just been delightful, and I can't believe that we're nearly at the end of our 30 minutes. So thank you so much for being here and talking about heart math, talking about neuroscience, talking about leadership from our hearts. It's been a beautiful conversation. I want just to keep people in mind. I just want to show we are going. Gurpreet has given us a lovely gift. She has Unveiling the Leader Within You. It's a link. I'm just running it now, and a way to connect with her is her email. So those of you who have popped on today, and later on, if you come in and leave any comments after we do the replay, we'll go back into the event and we will send you these links so you can get in touch with Gurpreet and talk to her. And also, thank you so much for this gift. That I'm definitely gonna download that. So we will be going. Yes, we'll be doing that. We'll be commenting on your comments. We greatly appreciate everybody who popped into the event today live. And we have a big ask. We're out to heal the world. So please tell people about our podcast. Tell them about these amazing, wonderful holistic practitioners that you meet every week, and let them know that we are out to heal the world. The website is, I believe I have it. Let me just put it here. Stop that one. You could go to the website. So there's our website at thehealinginstitute.com, and connect with the practitioners. We have some absolutely amazing holistic practitioners, and they're ready to help you on whatever healing journey that you are on. So our vision is to create a community of expert health practitioners customizing unique treatments to meet your specific requirements. And our motto is service with love. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Gurpreet, so much for being part of our show today. And I look forward to talking. Actually, next week we won't have a show, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. All right. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.